Sigma have sent me their newest sport prime lens. This is the 200mm f2 lens. This is a full frame image stabilized lens, which, you know what, for a fast aperture lens with that kind of focal length is really not as big and heavy as I was kind of expecting it to be. It can feel a little bit like a niche prime lens in a way, because it stacks up against something like a 7200 f2.8, which is obviously going to be more versatile because it's got that zoom focal range, whereas this is just the 200mm focal length, but it is that faster aperture f2. It's perfect for stuff like indoor sports, for events, for things where you can't really control the light. You need to be letting in as much light as possible for maybe fast moving situations as well. You need to get that shutter speed up. It is absolutely ideal for that kind of stuff. Now, I've been using this with a Sony a7 IV, which is absolutely fine. And actually it's been really interesting to try it with that camera, but I'd love to try this out with something like an A9 III, an A1 II, or even A7R5, something like that, because this has been an absolute dream to play around with. And actually, for things like indoor sports or events, I can imagine this being just an absolute workhorse and able to get you some fantastic results. Design-wise, it comes in at about 1.8 kilograms. It was always going to be a reasonably weighty lens, but actually, do you know what? It feels great in the hands. It does not feel overly heavy to actually use handheld at all. I've found that completely fine, and it is so solid. The design of this is so nice. It just feels incredibly well constructed, and that's right through the actual handling of the lens. You've got things like an aperture ring, which I love, as well as a D-click and a click switch here, so you can have that clicked for photography, D-click for video if that's how you want to do it. I just like having a click on, personally, but I love having the option to switch it on and off. A whole load of controls here for things like focusing, focus distance, and that image stabilization as well. Now, that image stabilization in the lens is doing a lot to actually make your life just a lot easier. 200mm certainly can be a little bit of a challenge handheld, especially if you don't have any image stabilization, but the actual stabilization in the lens is just so fantastic. You've got two modes. Mode 1, which is pretty much your standard go-to stabilization mode, and then mode 2 for panning as well. But I found the difference between on and off is night and day. Makes a huge difference. It means you can shoot with a much slower shutter speed if you want to. You've got a lovely smooth focus ring on the front here. There is a little bit of focus breathing when you're actually shooting with this lens, but the actual focus ring here is lovely to turn if you want to shoot that way. And of course, a tripod mount on the bottom and tripod collar, which is completely adjustable, so we can actually undo that and move this around if we want to, which is always great. And actually, if you have an Allen key, you can take this off on the bottom as well if you just want that removed. In terms of image quality, which is the most important thing with any lens, this is sublime. This is so beautiful. Everything is very, very sharp, even shooting wide open at f2. And you have such a beautiful fall off with this. The outer focus areas are so smooth. That bokeh is so beautiful. And the fall off is just, it's wonderful. It looks fantastic. It means portraits, it means kind of lifestyle images, candid photos at maybe an event, or if you are shooting sports or maybe wildlife if it's a little bit more up close, can just look so fantastic. It is absolutely wonderful to shoot with a lens like this. Now, I'm not overly surprised. Sigma makes some really lovely lenses like this, but I've got to say this just has been absolutely lovely to shoot with. The autofocus is also super snappy and actually keeps up with fast moving subjects, no problem at all. That's in photo and video. So this is just absolutely working overtime as a great tool for the job for those kinds of situations. Now, it's not the cheapest lens down there, and I'll pop a link so you can actually check this out for yourself down in the description. I don't think it was ever going to be, right? It's a very specific tool for a specific kind of job. I don't actually think this lens is going to be for everyone. And the main reason for that is I think a lot of people would find more utility out of something like the 7200 f2.8, like I mentioned earlier, just because there is a little bit more versatility to how you might want to use that lens in different ways. This is much more of a specific kind of lens, but the job that it is doing for you, it is doing so well, given that super fast, bright aperture at 200mm. Oh, and it looks so good. It looks so good. So while it is a little more costly, I think it's absolutely worth it for someone who needs something like that. And otherwise, there's the 7200 if you want something a little bit more versatile. So some great options, I think, available to you. Love seeing a lens like this added to the kind of range of lenses that you can get for something like a Sony camera as L-mount as well. Just because I think more options are always better. And this is going to suit certain types of photography just perfectly. You can check out the full specs of the lens, the pricing, everything you want to know by going over to parkcameras.com. Link down in the description so you can see all of that. Don't forget to like, subscribe as well as new stuff all the time. I'll see you in the next video, but until then, as always, thanks for watching.